Hey guys, Steph, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all good. So in today's video, I am doing a full face of products that you guys have told me you absolutely hate. So I asked over on Instagram stories the other day, which by the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can find it up here or also down below. I asked you over on Instagram stories what products you guys really didn't get on with that you thought were just crap. And it turns out that I actually had a lot of products that you guys mentioned. So you all know the drill. Today I'm chucking all of that on my face, letting you know my thoughts. So let's get into the video. Boom. Okay, pop these little ears on. And of course, let's do the little YouTube bit. As always, if you guys do like these kind of videos, if you want to see more videos like this, if you have any video recommendations that you want me to do, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications. Am I missing anything else? Let's just do it. A nice eyelash here, just chilling on my laptop. It's like, looks like a little spider. Okay, I'm just gonna sprinkle that over there. So first up for primer, I was actually kind of shocked to see this, and a few of you did actually mention this, but one person in particular said that this primer pills up every time they use it. So this is the HENRIKSEN Banana Bright Face Primer. And you all know I'm kind of a take it or leave it sort of girl when it comes to primers, and by take it or leave it, I mean, most of the time I just leave it, but I actually really like this primer. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised when I saw that you said it pills up, because I actually find that this sinks in really well. That's not to say that your opinion isn't valid. I'm just telling you my thoughts, but like I applied moisturizer half an hour or so ago and it's applying on my skin really nicely. What is that? What is that? You know what? We've got a little bit of a pilling situation. I don't normally have that. Oh my God. Okay, bit gross, but I've got like a fake tan facial moisturizer on that I applied earlier, and you know what? It is actually pilling up. Oh, that's embarrassing. I actually like this primer, but fair enough. Like it's doing a little bit of something to my skin. I don't know if it's doing that because I only recently put moisturizer on. Maybe just like, I mean, if you've already got it, and it's not cheap, like if you want to maybe see if it'll work a little better another way, maybe try it without moisturizer. Use this like in place of your moisturizer, because I think it is quite a hydrating primer anyway. But yeah, give that a go. Or if any of you guys, like with any of these products, if any of you guys have them and you don't find them to be a problem at all, let us know how you use them, because, you know, if someone's already got the product, if they're not loving it, and if we can figure out a way for them to love it, that would be cool. But I normally like this, and like, I like it everywhere else, but it did do a little something there. So fair enough. Next, I'm gonna go in with this lip plumper from Too Faced, which you guys know I absolutely love. And I think this is the one that the girl was mentioning. I don't know if you guys want me to say on names or anything, but Beauty by Steph, that's all I'm gonna say. Beauty by Steph said the Too Faced lip plumper didn't quite live up to your expectations. But yeah, I love this stuff. I find it's best, like not as a lip gloss. I always use these kind of products underneath any lip product. So I'm gonna go to town with this. I like to actually go kind of like quite far out on my lips. Far out. And I'm gonna do this now. I'm literally like slathering it, like, I don't even care right now, man. I'm just slathering my lips in this, getting it all around. They should swell up in a minute. But like, I've tried the original lip injection. This one is better, much better, the extreme one. It's very intense. Like when I go to take this off, normally I just wipe it off on the back of my hand, and I literally get like a rash on the back of my hand when I do it, but I don't mind it because that means it's working. While we wait for the lip plumper to work, I'm now gonna go in with the Fast Base Foundation Stick from Revolution. A lot of you were hating on Revolution products. I got a lot of people saying they think the quality's gone down, and kind of agree. Like, I used to be a massive Revolution fangirl, and I'm not so sure now. I actually really used to like this foundation when it first came out. But yeah, it has been a while since I used it. This one is in the shade F8. Hopefully it'll work. I mean, like I said, I've had this one in my drawers for a while, so if it's not the right color, we're just gonna deal with it. But yeah, I haven't used this in a really long time. So I'm gonna go on one side of my face first. Definitely too pale for me, but it's fine, we'll figure it out. And I don't know if you can see, but my lips are already starting to swell up. I feel it. I think you can see it. I'm getting like that cherryade lip, you know, and it's like red around the top. Gorgeous. And I'm just gonna blend that out with a buffing brush. So I couldn't really see why any of you guys didn't like this. I remember a couple of you saying that you just think it's overhyped and you couldn't get on with it. Oh my God, my lips are My lips are really swelling up now. So like to the person that didn't like it, like maybe if it didn't work, I mean, it does hurt. It is intense, but I don't know, maybe if it like didn't do anything at all, maybe you've got a dud, or maybe you've just got like really tough lips. It's a strange sentence, but yeah, I mean, you can see that, right? Right. I don't mind this base actually. It's a bit more heavy than I go for these days because we all know like I'm like super natural now with the extensions and the fake nails and the plumping lip gloss and I'm natural, okay? But it has given me coverage and it does still look quite glowy on the skin. Can you see that? A little bit of glow. I remember when this foundation came out, it was like, oh my God. I was gonna say revolutionary, but that was not a pun intended. It was a pretty good product when it came out though. Like I feel like this was when Revolution was kind of at its peak. So far, I'm not minding that. I'm gonna even myself up on this side. It's quite creamy as well. I remember it to be quite creamy and blend out quite nicely. Yeah, I'm not actually minding this. Let me know if you guys are still into Revolution. Let me know what you think of their base products, because I also saw a few of you say you didn't like the tube one, the Conceal and Define liquids foundation. I'm just doing hand motions here and hoping that you understand, but I think you guys know the one I mean. Yeah, I saw some of you say you weren't 100% keen on that foundation. So let me know your thoughts. How do you think this looks on my skin right now? How does it look on your skin? Let me know. Next, someone called That Mad Goth, which I'm obsessed with that name. They said, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. I've seen so many people rave about it, but it was so sheer, no coverage, and my oily skin hated it. So I'm pretty sure this is the concealer that they meant, and I have this one here in the shade Light Medium Beige, and I remember thinking this was okay. I don't remember thinking it was amazing, but I don't remember anything bad about it. But let's see. I mean, you know me, I like the coverage, so I'm gonna blend it out with my brush. I mean, granted, I don't have the most oiliest skin in the world, so we might have two totally different skin types here, but I kind of remember this just being all right. Nothing like, oh my God, best concealer ever, but I don't remember it being bad. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say no to a little bit more coverage, but I feel like how it looks on my skin right now, obviously pre-powder, it looks all right. I always find it so interesting that you can have the exact same product and use it in the exact same way, but it just doesn't work for some people, and it's totally fair enough. It doesn't happen too often, but like sometimes I'll get people that get annoyed if a product that I love doesn't work for them, and they'll be like, you know, you lied, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. You know, everyone has different skin. Everyone has different pH levels and skin type, skin tone, skin texture. Sometimes these things just don't work on everyone. I mean, I'm not obsessed with it. The more I look at it, and now I know what I'm looking out for, I can see why maybe your oily skin doesn't like it, because it does sit on the skin a little bit. Let's see how it is when we powder it down. And for powder, Sophie said the Jeffree Star Magic Powder, and she put a vomit face, this one. So, that, you know, say no more. When I first tried this out, because I'm not going to get into it, because I'm sure a lot of you guys know, I don't really use Jeffree Star products anymore. I might use the odd thing off camera because I already have it, but this is a rare situation where I do feature like a Jeffree Star product on my channel now. But I did actually really like this powder when I first tried it. It was quite heavy from what I remember, and it does have a scent, which I really like. But yeah, so a lot of you saying you weren't into Jeffree Star products, and I was trying to keep it as like more about the products as opposed to the person, but a couple of you did say that you weren't into this powder. So I've just got the translucent one, and I'm just gonna set down my entire face with that. Oh, that just went right up my nose. I'm not using too much either, because I remember it being quite matte. Very matte. Very, very, very matte. Not looking too bad so far, but yeah, very matte. It does look a little bit dodgy on my mustache. Like, I'm fairly freshly shaved in the mustache region, but it is picking up a bit of texture just on my top lip, which isn't the ideal place to have texture, because then it can just look like a 5 o'clock shadow. A little bit worried about the under eyes, just because I want to see how that concealer works as well. I mean, it is very, very, very matte. More matte than I would like. I would want to slather my face in setting spray. I mean, I don't know, maybe I was using a lot less back in the day, but I feel like I use less now. I don't know, I feel like I would personally use this powder with something a lot more dewy. I would not pair like a matte foundation with a matte powder because then I just look cake. I'm just cake. I mean, it's not that bad. I really don't dislike it that much. It's not my go-to powder. And I totally get why people might not like it because it is very, very matte. Everything just looks a little bit thicker than I would like here. It just doesn't really look too skin-like. It just kind of looks like I've, the telltale signs of foundation. It ain't bad, but I do see why you might not like this because it is pretty heavy and very, very matte. I'm not minding it right now, but we'll see how everything looks in a bit. Next is actually one of my favorite bronzers of all time, and a couple of you said that you weren't keen on this. It's the Benefit Hoola, and I do really, really like this stuff. Like, I have always liked it. I get it's not necessarily, I wouldn't use it like as an all-over bronzer anymore. I would personally use it as more of a contour, but I really like it. I know W7 do a similar one. I know Aldi have done a similar one, and I do personally prefer the Benefit one, but like there's not too much in it. But yeah, I'm just gonna warm my face up with that a little bit. Like you can see, it's pretty pigmented, and it does have a different tone than I would normally go for bronzers these days. I tend to prefer like the MAC Give Me Some, which is, maybe you can see the difference there. Can you see? Can you see? MAC Give Me Sun is just a little bit more orangey. It's very pigmented. Look at that there. Very, very pigmented. So you only need a very, very light hand or a very, very like loosely dense brush. Oh, okay. I think this is the powder and the foundation doing this. I'm very picky, by the way. I think I've realized that with the macro and stuff, like because I'm literally like looking and being so particular about base products and stuff, like that is my thing. I like base products to look so friggin' smooth. Like if you ever see me out in person doing my day-to-day like base makeup, I'm not gonna say I'll have the best eyeshadow you've ever seen. I'm not gonna say I'll be like the most put together person you'll ever see, but my base makeup, I always make sure it looks like as flawless as can be. So I'm very, very picky about that kind of stuff. And so I don't know if you guys will necessarily be able to pick up here. I'll try and stay really still so maybe Ollie can zoom in quite a bit. But it's just a bit more cakey here than I would like. Do you see what I'm saying? It looks fine. It actually does look completely fine. No one's gonna notice. But if I'm being really, really picky, I've tried out, God, I must have tried out hundreds of foundations and powders and all the different things. And this is something that I do notice that I would rather not have. But it's like, I must have tried out hundreds and hundreds of foundations, concealers, primers, powders, all that stuff. So I am very, very picky. I know what I'm looking out for. And yeah, it's just looking a little bit more cakey than I would personally like. Totally fine. Like I wouldn't bother taking off my makeup if I'd done my base like this. But it's not like at the top. Do you know what I mean? It's like I have different stages about whether or not I recommend a foundation. Like, does it have the coverage I want? Does it have the finish I want? Does it look good on the skin? And this is past the coverage check. It does actually look all right on the skin, but then there's this little bit. So am I being a little bit picky? Yes, but I'm also doing it because I want you guys to have a foundation that looks banging. And this looks all right, but just something to note, a little bit cakey. This side looks good though. So maybe it's just my face. Who knows? Next is a product that I really, really, really love. And I do understand why this person said they weren't into it. They basically said, I'll try and put the questions on screen or the answers. They basically said that it just doesn't hold your brows in place. And this stuff doesn't, when it says brow freeze, it really isn't like the Refy stuff or like soap or anything. Like that literally will freeze your brows in place. I do find this moves around a lot more, but I also don't really mind that because I just find it can look quite good for slightly more natural makeup. I mean, one thing is for sure, which I should have remembered and I should have done, this is definitely a lot better if you use it before you've done any of your base makeup, because sometimes as you're kind of brushing it through, you can start to shift your base and stuff underneath. But I find the best way to basically stick your brows in place with this is to just pat the hairs down. So I'll slick them where I want them to be. And then to make sure that they just stay where I put them basically, I'll really make sure to flatten that down. You can use the end of a brush, you can use your finger, whatever. But I have started liking the Refy one more than this. I do like this stuff, but yeah, I have found that I've been using the Refi stuff a lot more. But yeah, I totally get why you might not like this. And that's why it's like, it's a bummer that it's so expensive, because it's one of those things that you'll either really, really like it, or like some of you have said, you really, really won't. And it's not just the kind of product that you're just like, oh, okay, it cost me £4. It's like, this stuff ain't cheap, and it doesn't really last that long either in the pot. I totally get why some people might not like this. First of all, the fluffy brows, I get it. We're not all into that. I very much am, because my brows, they just want to take over my face, whether I do something to them or not. But yeah, it's not the most long wearing brow gel, and I feel like so many brands are now coming out with things like this. So I would definitely recommend trying something a little bit more affordable, or just trying soap. For example, if you do want to try this look, you can just use a bar of pear soap. Make sure it's a transparent one, just so you don't get like white residue or anything. But yeah, I totally get why people don't like this. I don't like it as much as I was obsessed with it. I still do really like it, but I'm using this a lot more. But yeah, I get it. You're not alone. A couple of you were saying you weren't into this. And yeah, to be honest, this is probably the worst my eyebrows have looked for a little while. So maybe I don't like that stuff as much as I thought I did. Next is a highlighter that I haven't used in way too long. Like, I probably shouldn't be putting this on my face. I'm still going to, but I probably shouldn't, because it is quite old. But this is the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek highlighter stuff. And this one is in the shade Lunch Money. I got this when I was in uni. I haven't been in uni in years. But yeah, I got this and I really, really liked it. But I will be honest, I don't really use it as much as I do like powder highlighters. I don't know, even though it's like a cream powder sort of hybrid, I've always just sort of gravitated more towards a powder. But I'm gonna take some of this on this brush here and pop some of that on my cheeks. If all else fails, I will go in with my finger. That's what she said. It's funny because every time I do a that's what she said joke, I know that Ollie's heart just like breaks. He's like, stop making those terrible jokes. And I'm like, no. Looks good in this camera. Does not look so good in this camera. It just looks kind of cakey. Ooh. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger and do it on this side just to see if that makes any kind of difference. I feel like it's a bit better with my finger. So I don't know if you're using the brush or your finger, but if you haven't tried it with your finger, give it a go. Don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna now start using this all the time because I don't really like applying products with my fingers. I tend to do it, you know, as like a last resort. Maybe if you're using it with a brush, try it out with your finger. And if all else fails, then all else fails. I feel like the reason these highlighters were so popular originally is because they've got a weird ass like putty texture formula. But I feel like now every brand has like 50 different types of highlighters. So I feel like it's just not as good as what we have now. But like it did have its place once upon a time. But yeah, I don't really tend to use this very often. I keep it because it's something I might go back to, or, you know, for like videos like this. But yeah, it's not my fave. Why am I choking so much today? I don't mind how my base looks right now. It's not my fave, but it's not too bad. So while I get this cat hair off my face, there we go. Caitlin said that she doesn't like this setting spray here. This one's from e.l.f. I think it's this one anyway, because it just says the e.l.f. setting spray in the black bottle, and it's just their makeup mist and set. Give it a little squirt. Okay, it smells a bit like meat, like smoky bacon crisps. But not nice smoky bacon crisps. I'm not like hungry from this. I'm like, But let me just add some more while it smells like out of date bacon. Don't ask me why. I know that. If you saw my vlog the other day, you'll see that I ate an out of date bacon sandwich and I was fine. The sandwich was way better than this. Yeah, the smell, not into the smell. Let's see how it looks on my skin in a second once it's all like settled down and stuff. And now we're gonna move on to eyes. So I think this is the palette that Chloe was talking about. She said the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and then in brackets she put pink and purple shades specifically. And I have a couple chocolate bars, but this is the only one with pink and purple shades in it, so I'm guessing it's maybe this one. I forgot how good these palettes smell. I haven't used these in so long. I really like a lot of Too Faced products. I haven't used one of their eyeshadow palettes in a really, really long time, especially the chocolate ones. These were like all the rage back in the day. I remember when I got my first one, I was like, oh my God, mum, I'm a beauty guru. I've made it, I'm going places. So yeah, Chloe said that the pink and purple shades weren't that great for her, so I'm gonna focus mostly on this color with a little bit of this, maybe just like on the outer corner, and then probably a little bit of this on the inner corner. First of all though, I'm gonna go in with the shade Mocha, which is just a really, really nice looking cool tone brown. It kind of looks like the chocolate bronzer. Yeah, just a chocolate bronzer to be honest, which I always use in my crease. I feel like I'm looking a little bit oily right now to be honest, just like the base in general. What do you guys think? Okay, the shade Mocha is going on just fine, but like she said, it's the pink shades we want to focus on. So I'm just going in with the shade Totally Fetch on this flat brush, and I'm going to press that all over the lid. I definitely feel like eyeshadows have come a long way again since like all these palettes, because again, like I've had this for many, many years, but I think it actually looks all right. It's not like the most intense hot pink shade ever, and I get that like it does look pretty intense in the palette, but I feel like that looks pretty decent. Like I'm quite happy with that color payoff. Are we gonna fight? Like guys, are we all gonna have a fight from having different opinions? Just blending out my crease a little bit more, and I will say it is blending it away a little bit. Not much of a problem, just because I can go back in with more, but is it ideal? Probably not. So that is one thing I'm sort of seeing. I'm now going to take this brush here. It's a bit of a random shape, but I just want to use it to pack some color on. And I'm going in with the shade Blackcurrant, which is a purple shimmer. And I'm just going to whack that on the outer corner. I'm going to blend it back out again in a second with the same brush that I was using. I'm just using this random ass brush just to put some color down. And this color ain't that good. Yeah, the purple in this palette, if this is the one you're talking about, yeah, not looking too great. It just looks kind of, doesn't really look that purpley. And again, it's not the most intense purple in the world, but you can see it's a purple, right? That's purple, whereas here it just kind of looks a bit grey brown, like it's not really doing much. I'll try this other brush and just see if we can pack it in there a bit more. We've also got a fair little bit of fallout here. I think I'll be able to brush it away. But I mean, considering we haven't really had that much color payoff, if the eyeshadows are like super, super pigmented, I don't mind doing my eyes first. But when it's just like, this is such a basic shade really, that I don't know, it's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass that there is fallout. And yeah, it has just sort of screwed my base a little bit. The pink ain't too bad. The purple, I feel you on that one. Not amazing. So now I'm going to go in with this shade here called Cotton Candy, which is the other light pink in the palette. So I'm just going to layer that up on my brush and go straight into the inner corner with that. So I feel like that looks pretty good. That's quite nice. I quite like the light pink. I actually feel like I prefer the light pink to the other one, the other pink. It's almost got a bit of like a bluey tone to it. I like the light pink. I don't mind the pink shades, but yeah, the purple one's a bit naff. Let's not lie here. I'm just going to buff out these edges here with a fluffy brush. I get it. I don't necessarily think that this palette is bad. But I mean, like for neutrals, I quite like all these sort of neutral shades down here, like this brown I remember really liking. The Mocha shade I like, and you know, a couple of these up here. But it's a pricey palette just for these neutrals, so I get it. It smells good, but yeah, not the most amazing color payoff really. I think I'm just going to take the shade Mocha again and just run that on my lower lash line. And then to finish off, I'm going to take a little bit of Sprinkles, which is this really light pink shade, and pop that on my brow bone. I mean, I don't mind the eye look. It's nothing crazy. It's just a pinky, purpley, smoky eye. It's fine. Yeah, I get it. Like, I know I keep saying that. I do get it. I understand why you don't like it. I don't mind it. I'm not going to badmouth the palette. These palettes just smell so freaking good. So now for mascara, a bunch of you mentioned that you just could not stand Florence by Mills makeup in general. And I remember when I did my review, I really wasn't that keen on it. Not just because of the fact that I wasn't that keen on the products, but because it's also just like kind of pricey. But yeah, Nikki said the Florence by Mills mascara with some eye emojis and then this face. which that's like one of my favorite faces to use. So yeah, let's try this out again. This is what the wand looks like. It's a pretty standard wand. Honestly, it has been a really long time since I used this, so I feel like it was, I can't quite remember what I thought of this when I first tried it. I just remember being a little bit put off by how expensive everything was. This is working on me, and I'll be honest, most mascaras do, but I can see how it does have the potential to look pretty clumpy. Like, I've got quite a lot of lashes. You could put the crappiest mascara on me and it would still look better than nothing. But as I'm going in with a second coat, which is what I do with most mascaras anyway, it is starting to look a little bit spidery. And it's almost like it blunts off the ends of my lashes. Does that make any sense? Like, I find most mascaras, they tend to elongate your lashes, whereas this one just kind of cuts the end of them off a little bit. And it does look a little bit bitty as well, which I'm not the biggest fan of. So yeah, not the biggest fan of this. Again, mostly because it is just pretty damn expensive. Considering it's like mostly aimed at teens, you can get way better in a lot of places. Superdrug, Boots, Wilko, even Poundland do a pretty decent mascara. So you're probably better off skipping this one. It's not the worst in my opinion, but don't waste your money. Then last but not least, although maybe least, considering we're doing products that you guys hate, we have one of the NYX lip lingeries. I used to swear by these things. I still have like every single color. But yeah, Nat said that the NYX lip lingerie liquid lipsticks are so drying and bring out every crease. So I kind of feel that way about a lot of liquid lipsticks these days. I know I used to love them, but I don't know if it's because I've got a little bit older or what. Like, is my mouth wrinkly now? I don't know, but I am finding that liquid lipsticks, they are just a lot more drying than I kind of remember them to be. So I picked up a bunch of different shades to try, but this one I have is in the shade French Maid, and it looks like this. It's quite a nice pinky sort of shade. I remember these being quite sheer. They're not like the most opaque things in the world. And normally I would put a lip balm or something on underneath a liquid lipstick, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna just see how it looks on its own. Okay, these things normally take a couple of minutes to dry down, so while I'm waiting for that, I will go off camera, do the other eye, sort my hair out a little bit, do all the things, and I'll check back with you guys in a second. Could you tell I was trying to hold in a cough then? I went, a second. It's like my balls just dropped or something. Oh, wait. All right, guys, so this is the finished look, and yeah, not really feeling it, to be honest. I mean, the general look in general, like, it's quite matte. I don't have as much like color on my face as I would like. I don't want to add anything else because I want to just leave it as the look using the products that you guys didn't like. So if I was to fix it, you know, I would add a bit more of like a warm tone bronzer, something a little bit more orangey to give me a bit more color. I would probably add a blush. I would add lashes. I would just do things a little bit different. But looking at how everything looks right now, I look very washed out. I look more matte than I would like. It's like I look matte, but I also look kind of oily, which is strange considering most of the base products were matte, like the powder, the foundation. I don't know if it was maybe the setting spray that's just made me look more oily. Like, I've literally had this makeup on for like 20 minutes and I already look like I've been sweating all day. Yeah, it's just altogether not really feeling it, to be honest. I mean, the eyes on their own, not bad. The lip lingerie lipstick has dried down and it's like not even opaque. Like I said, it's a bit more sheer, but this, again, I'll show you in the macro and everything, but it's like more color here and then sheared out here, and it is a little bit crumbly. I mean, I've got lip filler and you don't get as many lines in your lips when you do have lip filler, so I'm kind of like cheating a little bit here, but it has still sunk into my lip line, so I totally agree with that. The mascara's already started dropping. I feel like that was a thing that I noticed before in my previous video. There's just like a couple of little bits on my lower lash line, which isn't ideal. So yeah, I can't really say I'm a fan. I get where you guys are coming from with all the products, like especially together. I might like some of the products on their own, but definitely trying them all together, not really into it. I would like more coverage under my eyes, so I get it about the concealer. The foundation looks a bit cakey, same with the powder. Obviously, we saw what happened with the primer that I'm throwing around everywhere, but I do still love the lip plumper. You can't take that away from me. This was still good. So guys, let me know what you think of this makeup look. I'll be honest, I'm gonna go and take this off in a minute. I'm gonna go get a snack first because I'm like really hungry. My stomach's like rumbling like crazy. But then I will be taking this off. So yeah, not loving it. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other product you think I should try out that you think is terrible, because I can definitely do another video like this. If you guys do want me to do another video like this, then let me know in the comments. And like I said, if you guys do want to be a part of it, then I usually do these sort of polls and like question and answer things over on my Instagram stories. So make sure you follow me there. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you do want to see more of me, because I upload all the damn time and it really, really does help me out a lot with the algorithm. You guys, like, I swear, what you guys are doing is working. I'm getting back to having like the views that I kind of used to a little bit. Like I appreciate it a lot. So if you guys do want to carry on helping me out, then, you know, any subscriptions, notifications, shares, all of that really does help. I appreciate ya. Don't know why the peace signs came out, but they're here. But apart from that, guys, that's it from me. I love you and I will see you in the next one. Bye.